Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. How are you all doing? Still in my workout clothes, right on time, which is not necessarily how I always arrive. I'm almost always early. How are you all doing? Welcome to day 6 of what the WTF. Can you believe that it'll be a week tomorrow? Which I guess doesn't really mean anything, or does it? I don't know. I just like the fact that there's some momentum going. I like the fact that these ripples, sorry, just making sure all my bells and whistles are turned off or muted or closed or on vibrate. Okay. I'm just excited about the momentum that we're building. I'm excited about you continuing to show up and engage and comment and share and offer your inspiration or your experience or your feedback in the comments. I love that. Because I think that's what it's all about, like creating a space where there's no requirement, right? You don't have to have a membership. You don't have to sign up. As long as you have a device and a way to connect through that device, then you're welcome. Maybe you have questions, maybe you don't. Maybe you know exactly where you are and what's going on. Maybe you're completely confused. Maybe it's a little bit of both, depending on the day or the moment or whatever. I don't know. Maybe you're just curious and you're looking for answers. Maybe you just want to know, like, am I the only one who's having these questions or having these experiences? And I'm here to tell you you're not, which is, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust my arrangement here, my setup. Anyway, I'm really happy you're here. We're not even a third of the way through yet. And it's important that we just continue, right? Let spirit guide us, you. That's what I'm doing. You know, I've talked about this. And for those of you that are new, if you're looking for some context, you can backtrack to episode 1 of What the WTF. I have a playlist created for the What the WTF broadcasts. And really, this was post Eclipse. And, you know, I have had a spiritual / healing / coaching practice for the past 10, 12 years. I absolutely believe in the power and the impact that these celestial and astrological alignments and cycles can have on our experience. I mean, if you think that that stuff doesn't impact you, let's just talk about the moon and its effect on bodies of water from as far away as it is on this planet, and how much of our bodies are water. The majority of them are empty space. And then I'd say probably water is the next on the list. So, you know, but whatever you believe is fine. The reason that I connect this to the eclipse, and I am not one of those people who believes that, Mercury retrograde, Mercury's not out to get you, girl. Eclipses are not harbingers of doom. Come on, girl. Like, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's happening in service of you. It's happening because of you. Because if you weren't there to observe it, it wouldn't be the same exact experience that it was when you were present, right? So the whole point of these gatherings is to simply connect and lean into the unknown, lean into the energy without an agenda, without a to-do list, without a checklist. Certainly, I can continue to create additional content on my channel here, and you'll see if you look through my previous videos, I've got all sorts of playlists and all sorts of readings and energy forecasts and sound healings and guided meditation, and all of that is wonderful and fantastic. And I still find myself at this point now, I think like many of us, going, what the fuck is happening? Like, where do we go from here? What am I supposed to do? And especially as someone who, for the past 10, 12 years, has been a very public figure, I have shared all of my journey with you here in real time on YouTube. If you were to go back and begin watching my first video from 10 years ago and to watch them in order progressively, you would really not only, observe the story of my life for the past 10, 12 years, but you would really go through, it would really, I have to imagine, would trigger your own awakening. Because the questions that I have brought forth and the offerings that I have shared and the teachings and the wisdom and the insight and all of that has been just in real time. As it moves through me, I share it here. or, on one of my other channels. And as one who is supposed to have had the answers, right, or be a leader, to find myself in this place where I have almost no idea what the hell is going on, to me, that's what is so crucially important right now, is that all of us, but especially those of us who have the privilege of an audience, of a following, of a group of people, whether it's 2 people or 2 million people, it doesn't matter. If you have gotten the privilege and the honor of having people look up to you or look to you or watch you or listen to you or follow you for guidance, leadership, insight, wisdom, whatever, good on you. And it's up to you to decide what that means to you. It's up to you to decide what value is there for you in those people that have given their time, their energy, their awareness, their insight, sometimes their money, their resources, in support of you. And I am very aware of the fact that probably the most powerful thing I can do right now is step forward with my own questions, step forward with my own insecurities, step forward with my own doubts, step forward with my own questions of what the hell is going on and is anybody really paying attention? So that's why we're here. Because I'm tired of people pretending that they have the answers. I'm tired of people, and I don't care. You can charge $5 or $5,000 for an hour of your time. I really don't care. I have no judgment or objection to people making money in this world. We live in a material reality. A material reality requires a material experience, and money is just a part of that material experience. And yet, for me, I felt like I owed myself and those of you who have been watching, who have just started watching, who will continue to watch, I just felt like I had to be honest. I had to share my truth. I just had to come from a place of what the WTF, like that perfectly describes kind of my life for the past year, especially, but the past few months specifically. By the way, bonus points to anybody who knows where what the WTF comes from. That's a reference and that's a direct quote from a show. I'll tell you, it's a show on Netflix. It's a comedy. Bonus points to anybody who knows the reference. So that's why we're here. And really, my intention is just to show up. And if I have something to share, I'll share it. If I don't know what's going on, then I'll share that. If there's something that you all share in the comments that inspires or sparks or lights me up in some way, and Spirit says, hey, let's run with that, then that's what I'll do too. But I think what's important beyond all of that is that we are here, that we are willing to ask questions, that we are willing to push back, albeit lovingly, gently, and compassionately. I'm not interested in being aggressive or violent, right? I'm not going to beat the answer out of somebody or something. Nope, not give it away. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And personally, I am not fighting, right? What did I just say? I'm not into being bad. I am dancing quite passionately with the impulse to perform, right? The old voice that says, Amar, you have to show up with something. You have to offer them a teaching or a lesson or some wisdom or a nugget of something because you certainly aren't enough. You have to bring something with you. And like I said, it's not a fucking potluck. And if it was a potluck, guarantee you, I would bring a dish that everybody would love. But it's enough just to show up, I think these days. The most important, powerful thing we can do is to be clear, to be present, to be as grounded and as centered as we can, to be honest and as authentic and as clear as we can, and to not back down. To stand strong and say, I'm going to be here in the middle. There's the people over here who think everything's great. What? It's all good. What are you worried about? There's people over here who think, that it's all just going to burn down starting in about 20 seconds. And here I am in the middle going, well, it is amazing in many ways, but not in the way that you think it is. And yeah, things feel chaotic and stressful and provoke anxiety and overwhelm, but it's not the end of the world in the way that you think it is. So I'm in the middle. And I'm with you here in the middle going, The extremes are never the truth, right? Life is about nuance. Life is about shades of gray. Life is about subtlety and it is about persuasion. Life is about a flow. Life is fluid. Life is constant. Life isn't about beating the shit out of it to try to get what you want and just bleed it dry and then move on. At least that's not how I feel about it. I think it's about being curious. I think it's about being willing to confront our own stuff and say, baby, I know you believe that, but I just don't think that's true anymore. So that's why we're here. And that's why I've committed to 30 days. And we're on day 6. So, 5.5 down, 24 and a half more to go. And who knows what is going to come of this. But I'm not going to pretend that everything's great when it's challenging. I'm not going to pretend to flex in a rented sports car with a stack of cash, which is probably all ones in the middle and then $100 bill on top. I'm not going to flex saying that, celebrity clients. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is the truth. What I care about is living life as fully expressed as you can. What I care about is realizing that any limitations you bump up against are just self-imposed. Because here's the truth. And I said this a lot, and you're going to hear me continue to say it. Every particle is the center of the universe. You are approximately 30 trillion cells. So let's just say you got 30 trillion particles centering everything around you. And from that perspective, everything else is merely a reflection of what is happening here. I will be honest with you, there is very, very little in our reality that is objective. 99%, 99.999 repeating infinitely percent of what you are experiencing is a complete and total mental projection. The construct of the geometry that suspends and sustains our reality is quite simple, and that is objectively real because something has to hold all this together. But there is nothing in your physical reality, and I want you to hear this. There is positively nothing, this much in your physical reality that has baked in, built in, inherent objective meaning. Follow me for a second. The field that holds all of us together, right? We talk about the field. You'll hear people talk about the field, the collective field, the connective field, the creative field, the unified field. That is a field of energy. That is a field of frequency. I personally believe that that field is unconditional love. Unconditional love is by definition a neutral state. Love is not an emotion. Love is not an action. Love is a state of being. Now, love can be expressed through emotion, through action, but love is not defined by that. Love is a state. It is a force. So the field that holds it all together is unconditional love. Unconditional love, by definition, is neutral. It is unconditional. That's what unconditional means. There's no judgment, there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no good, there's no bad. There is only what is, and your perception and interpretation of it. So the unified field that holds us all together is spirit itself. Spirit itself is an unconditional love impulse. That's what it is. It is the totality of everything held within the field of unconditional love. Therefore, as an aspect of spirit itself, your natural, organic, authentic state of being in your purest sense is simply unconditional love. You are, by definition, inherently neutral. And then you decided to have an experience of being a human. And you decided you were going to call yourself Kenny or Bliss or Jillian or Ida or Bigfoot or Joan or whoever else. And it is your human self that is creating your reality through the projection of the personality mind. Everything in your world is neutral, and your experience of it is created solely by you. Period. So the natural state is simply to be. And when you are aligned and allegiant to yourself all the way up the chain, you move in concert with the most expanded part of you that is on the mountaintop, that has the 30,000-foot view, the bird's eye perspective, and can see where you're going and knows where you're headed and understands the laundry list of things that the soul, that the self really was intending to learn and experience in this lifetime. You exist because the soul chose you, not the other way around. We humans have been so convinced of the myth of our own superiority. We think God exists because of us. We think we created the creator. No, girl. I mean, you can think that if you want. And I would love to see how your life works out if that is the path that you walk and the story that you operate under. So, neutrality, just show up, be present, observe, listen, feel, sense, acknowledge, pay attention to, be curious about. Give yourself permission to be curious about another way. Give yourself permission to be curious about how else you could respond, about what other version of you can call forth in response to whatever is existing in your reality. And we take it all so seriously. And I think that's the paradox. On the one hand, it is serious. And on the other hand, it's just a game. On the one hand, it's life and death. On the other hand, it's just a movie that we're all watching. So I think once we begin to really comprehend that this is the primary reality and this is the secondary reality, and by divine, universal, natural, i.e., not corrupted law, this informs this. This must respond to this. And yes, there is a little bit of a delay, there is a little bit of a lag sometimes. But the key is to hold true to the vision and stay connected to yourself, regardless of what is happening out here. Because your safety exists in here. Any safety that you experience out here is first created in here. Because if you don't know what safety feels like, how will you recognize it when it arrives? So it's up to you to decide what safety feels like. And for most of us, we do this by contrast, right? It's Abraham Hicks 101. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And so you can say, well, looking back historically on the childhood that I experienced, I did not feel safe. Why? Okay, then you start to dictate for yourself what felt unsafe, why, and as best you can, right? And so then by contrast, you go, well, I wasn't emotionally honored. I wasn't really valued beyond what I could do, right? I was, children should be seen and not heard or whatever. And then you decide, is that how I want to navigate through the world? Is that true for me? Is that what I believe is the best way for me to move through my world? Yes or no? It's up to you. But you begin to decide what is true, and you begin to decide how you want to feel. You begin to decide and realize that you can affect the quality of your experience, that you can change what's in here. And when you are allegiant to this and focus on this and make this your priority, then this just falls in line. We've been taught that it's our force that makes it happen. Explain to me in a free will reality how you can make anyone or anything be or do anything that they at some level are not interested in experiencing. So you just have to be true to what's going on in here. And the more time you spend in here and the deeper you reconnect to what's in here, the clearer all of this becomes. And you realize that, oh, I do get a say. Oh, those people who call themselves the leaders, those people who believe that they are in charge either because they've been voted or they just took the authority for themselves, they don't have access to anything in here that you don't. In fact, some of those creepy crawly creatures that are calling themselves human are actually subhuman, and not to make a hierarchy out of it, but girl, you're clear, you're connected. You've decided to use your powers for good. You've decided to use your powers as a generative, benevolent, creative, coherent force. And those yahoos over there who think that they're in charge of you, they're not any different. They don't have access to things that you don't have access to. And what I'm talking about is here. Okay, sure, they may have created a temporary physical construct where they appear to have more access to the things that the rest of us don't, but that's just an illusion. And they want you to believe the illusion. They need you to believe the illusion, because what I've been talking about is the matrix requires one thing to sustain itself, and that's your belief. So the minute that you stop believing in it and giving yourself to it and start going, wait a minute, is that the only way? And do I even want to play this game anymore? That's when things start to change. But we got to be willing to deny the lure of our history. We got to be willing to say no to comfort sometimes. Comfort is a wonderful thing, but it's also really seductive. And my experience has shown me that when I am comfortable, I'm not really growing. And it's not like I have to always be growing. Sometimes it's okay just to be. But if I'm choosing comfort over growth, if I'm choosing comfort over truth, if I'm choosing comfort over clarity, if I'm choosing comfort over authenticity or aliveness or awareness, that's when I would start to question my allegiance to comfort. Growth is going to require us to be a little uncertain or awkward or uncomfortable in some way, if only in the way of like, I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this. I think of when I was a kid and I was going through puberty, and I think it was either the summer between my 12th and 13th birthday. It was the summer before I turned 13, I think. Anyway, I was growing so rapidly that I can't even remember. I grew like 3 or 4 inches in like one summer. It was ridiculous how fast I was growing. Even my doctor was like, what the hell are you eating? Like horse steroids? And I was like, nope, just me. But I used to wake up in the middle of the night and in pain because my bones were growing so fast. It was so painful. Now, I'm not saying it has to be painful. But what I'm saying is a little bit of needing to push through something often is required. The seed has to crack open, and that sprout has to create a tremendous amount of pressure to crack it open. The butterfly, as it's exiting the cocoon, as it's transformed from the caterpillar into the butterfly, it needs the resistance of the cocoon so that it can build its muscles so that it can actually fly. So I'm not saying you got to go look for struggle and discomfort. But what I am saying is when it arrives, don't be so quick to discard it or numb it. This is where I kind of fall back into this critical thing of love and light, right? I think we have misinterpreted this law of attraction to say, oh, I should only ever be happy. I should only ever feel good. Oh, I can't feel bad. Oh, I can't be sad. Oh, I can't be angry. That's law of attraction. I'm going to bring it to me. No. It's about your aggregate vibration. And I promise you, the things that you are trying to spiritually bypass or deny, those are the things that are going to have a far greater impact on your vibration than the things that you are trying to pretend are your frequency. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being an optimist. Hello, right here, the glass is always half full in terms of my perspective. But I also know that if I want my joy and my optimism to be authentic, I have to also understand that I'm not doing it in spite of my shadow. I'm not doing it at the exclusion of my shadow. I'm no longer tiptoeing around my, life trying not to wake the sleeping tiger. I finally sat down a couple of years ago and poked the tiger with a stick and said, "Hey, wake up. We need to get this shit sorted, because I'm not spending the next several decades of my life tiptoeing around you because you're just me. So let's sit down and have it out." And then I wrestled with that tiger for the next 2.5 years. So if you can look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say with all honesty that you are being as honest as you can, then you're good. If you can look yourself directly in the eye at the end of the day and say, yeah, there were some rough spots. No, I would not have done it like that again in hindsight. But today I did the best I could. That's it. 99% of it is intention. The rest is just choreography. If you mean to do it one way and it accidentally or just kind of happens the other way, then you're all good. It's okay. It's okay. You're not being judged. You're not being tested. There's no hidden agenda. There's no secret door that's waiting to trap you. So opening yourself up to say, I don't know, but I'm here and I'm willing to find out. There is no other world. There's only another way to live. So that's why we're here. We're here to talk. We're here to share. We're here to question. We're here to connect. We're here to create a space that says everyone is welcome, but only love can stay. And if you're not willing to look in the mirror and face yourself and take accountability and responsibility for yourself and all you have wrought and created, then you're probably not going to last very long in this space. Because my energy is one that it breaks shit. When you are in my presence and there's something ready to break, a story, a belief, an old pattern, some old geometry, an old frequency, an old chord, an old attachment, an old agreement, an old contract, whatever, it will break in my presence. I cannot tell you how many apartments in my life, and I have moved more than 40 times in my life, and I cannot tell you how many times as an adult, the day that I move into an apartment, within a week, there has been some sort of plumbing problem. I can't even tell you how many times. It would defy statistics to tell you how many times when I move into an apartment, something fucking breaks. My energy just does it. So if you're ready to be broken of the illusion that it's happening to you, if you're ready to be broken of the illusion that you're powerless, that you're a victim, if you're ready to be broken of the lie that there's some angry man up there in the sky judging you and condemning you and waiting to cast you down into the fiery pits, stick around. If you're willing to be broken of all that is untrue within you, then you made it to the right spot. But girl, if you're still wanting to stay asleep, keep your head under the covers and in the sand, I'm not the cup of tea for you. I promise. You're not ready. You're not ready. So when you're ready, you're ready. And until you're not, right? When you're ready, and this is a note from the higher self. Notes from the Higher Self by Amar, available on Amazon. One of the notes in there, when you're ready to heal, nothing can stop you. And until you are ready to heal, nothing can save you. Nothing can save you anyway. But by the time you reach the stage of willingness, you don't care. You're just ready to reclaim it. If what it takes for me to heal is to heal myself, if that's what it takes, Spirit, fine. Then fucking give me my power back. That's all it takes, is you just have to be willing to wield that power responsibly. It's not Hogwarts. You don't get your wand the first year. This is more the Egyptian mystery school. You got to spend at least 24 years down in the lower mystery school before. Oh, thank you, Sophia. I appreciate that, my dear. You got to spend at least 20 something years in the lower mystery school before they will even consider taking you into the upper mystery school. And then you're still not even guaranteed a place in the temple. So until you're willing, you're all good. But once you're willing, I promise you, you are going to become the Indiana Jones treasure hunter for your own bullshit. Because once you get even a taste of what it is to liberate yourself, oh my God, you can't stop. Because the less heaviness that's weighing you down, the easier it is to rise. It's like the hot air balloon. Cut those bags of sand, let them go, drain them all so that you can just keep rising. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty. When you cut the dead weight, the hot air balloon takes care of everything else. When you cut your own dead weight, when you let go of your bullshit, your higher self takes care of everything else. Then you just rise. Then you just flow. Then you just return to your divine state of balance and perfected geometry. There's very little you have to do. All the rest of it is being. 99% of it is intention. The rest is choreography. You don't think the ritual is actually for the gods or the beings, do you? The ritual is so that the human mind can witness what's happening and understand, oh, this is magic. Oh, this is a crystal grid. Oh, this is an offering. The ritual is only for you to focus yourself into. Spirit doesn't need you to call on her. She's right here. Spirit doesn't need you to ring the bell. The ritual is a signifier to the gods that you are ready. A prayer, a spell, an incantation, a ritual working is the only thing that magic does is transform you. If you say, Spirit, I want $1 million, a 14-bedroom house, and a $300,000 car, then Spirit will say, boom, it is granted. And now your request requires you to become the type of person that can accept and sustain that wish and that prayer. So the only thing that magic does is call you into a higher form. All magic does is ask of you to become the version of yourself that can receive that wish and sustain it. Magic doesn't create something, it's already there. Haven't we learned this from basic science? Matter is not created or destroyed, it is only transformed. Energy is not created or destroyed, it is only transformed. You're not making anything. You're simply coalescing energy from one form of being into another form of being. That's it. So you, my friend, are the beginning, middle, and end. You're the alpha and the omega. So any prayer, any wish, any desire, any request that you put out requires one thing from you: that you become the version of self that can accept it, that can receive it, that can hold it in your field and sustain it. Spirit is not going to create more than spirit can sustain. Spirit is not superfluous. She is not going to create more than she can manage and then go, oh shit, guess I shouldn't have done that. No. It is all perfected within the greater context. It's all geometry. Geometry is really fucking simple. It either balances or it doesn't. It is probably the only thing in our reality that is black and white. 90 degrees is 90 degrees, not a degree less or a degree more. That's the only type of judgment that's happening in the universe is that angle correct? Is it true? Is it sound? Is it 90 degrees? Cool, golden, done. Now you fill in the blanks. So the construct of your reality is objectively true. Like the glass is objectively true, but everything else inside, totally neutral, has no inherent or implicit meaning. It's entirely up to you what you make of it, because energy has one job, and that is to serve. And since you currently find yourself animated and in a body, you are being served currently by the creative force. So, what are you going to do with it? Beautiful way to end. Thank you for showing up today, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. And that's not kidding. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Just a reminder that all of my one-on-one sessions are on discount through the end of April. So when you use SPRING20, the coupon code at checkout, you will get 20% off a single session. So basically everything except for the mentorship program is discounted. So single sessions and packages of deep dives. The link is in the description below to find my booking calendar, and you'll see the coupon code at the top. Donations are always greatly appreciated. Stripe and PayPal are in the link below or description below. Notes from the Higher Self on Amazon. If you've purchased it, I would love it if you would leave me a review. It really, really helps, because that keeps the algorithm putting my book on the top of the pile. And I love you. And let's keep it up. Like, share, subscribe, comment, scream, shout, dance. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Same place, same time, different day. Same bullshit, different day. Love you, everybody. Have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow.